Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds, hanging out with this nerd.
Nerdarchy's Ted.
And we're going to give you 3 easy ways to build a one-dimensional character.
Jump down the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy the newsletter, get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
So, I think I seen a post on Facebook or the internet somewhere. Like, Facebook is such a great place for finding topics and see what people are interested in. As well as the comments that we get on our videos, and they asked about like the one-dimensional party, and they talked about all the same class, right? We can expand this a little bit and talk about all the same race, and also to some extent all the same background. So there's 3 different angles we can approach with the 3-dimensional party and how to play it.
The 3 ways to do a one-dimensional party.
Correct.
All right, so first and foremost, let's look at the initial question of running it as all the same class. Now, this becomes interesting at a conception level, but possibly challenging depending upon what kind of story you are providing. Now, 5th edition does create a variety with subclasses, and of course your race choice and background are going to give you different nuances within that class. But if you make a group of all fighters, all right, you're going to have your Eldritch Knights, so you'll still have some spell casting, you'll have some champions, and you'll have some battle masters to play with.
Right, and maybe some arcane archers.
Well, yeah, if you're stretching out beyond the player's handbook, you wind up getting a lot of choices to play with. So
it's easier than ever to do this kind of build in your game and still have no 2 characters be the same. 5th edition really makes that easy, and that's without even getting into any kind of multi-classing or anything like that. Guys, more than likely will have different backgrounds, you'll be different races, and there's a good possibility you're going to have different subclasses as well.
So when you get into it, you have to look at, all right, well, you don't necessarily need a cleric because you have access to your hit dice. So you can do short rests and long rests to get those things back. Hopefully somebody will take medicine to be able to, get the people stabilized once they've dropped. But you don't even need that because you can just have healer's kits.
Well, there's also feats that can give you temporary hit points, that can give you some healing. There's definitely more options. So if you're playing with a character, if you're playing a class that doesn't provide healing, and also like some of the backgrounds give you crossover too. Oh, you're playing the all-fighter party, but you're not going to have anyone to search for traps and disarm them. Well, someone takes the criminal background, and then they kind of have that covered.
So you also could, as you said, you brought up the feat. If you take the healer feat, you've got the ability to use a medicine kit and actually restore hit points to someone that's down. So that covers that. You can take Magic Initiate, Cleric, and now you've got Cure Wounds. It's only once a day, but hey, once that person's dropped, they're going to want that.
And you can combine it with Spare the Dying if you want to. There is also Inspiring Leader, which can give it temporary hit points. And the only thing better than healing is not needing to heal at all. So that can come in handy as well. It does a group. It's a small amount, but it'll help. And then that brings us to like the final thing for all playing the same class. It's going to make you the most diverse of all, and that is how you role play, how you characterize your character and present them. That is the best way to make your characters not seem alike, and that's the one thing that's going to carry over through all of these builds.
Right. Now, this is purely the player's choice. Now let's look at it from the GM side. If you are presenting a story for all fighters, it's going to be a very different story if you were to present it to, say, all wizards. So you have to plot and plan not only your social, but your physical challenges appropriate to the class that you're doing this for. So if you want to have a thing that's all about wizards, well, that might be a lot of research and magical traps and magical...
Or you might be running a Harry Potter-ish game, and like that makes sense. If you're all fighters, maybe they're all soldiers in the same army. Like that could really flavor, the type of adventures you're going to run. Or really interesting. What if they're all clerics? Why are all these priests together? Assuming they're not of the same deity even. Why are they all working together? What has happened in the cosmology of your world that is made, 4 or 5 churches decide they must band together to do this thing? I feel like you can come up with some really great and interesting stories based off of this, but it is probably going to suck ass if you, as the GM, you're like, nope, I'm just running what I'm running, and you're showing up with all your fighters or all your clerics, and not tailoring the story to what you have.
Yeah, that is absolutely a problem. You have to tailor the story to the class that's going into this.
You wouldn't want to run Storm King's Thunder or even Sky King's Thunder if you were going to do this kind of game. You know, you probably wouldn't want to do, you know, Tomb of Annihilation and Chol. Those adventures are geared towards the standard D&D party, so you want to keep that in mind.
All right, so now let's look at it, you know, what if they're all the same race?
Huh. Do we have any examples that we could possibly draw from? If only there were. No, like the Hobbit, they were all dwarves. They were probably all fighters too, except for the Hobbit, you know, who was their burglar. Which really, if you watch that movie, you know, if you read the books, he might have just really been a commoner. Anyway, like, oh, I guess I'm a burglar now.
Well, he trained on the road.
Yeah, level 0 burglar. But no, so like already you're like the thing that a lot of D&D seems to be formed around. Yeah, it already has that.
It's very, very true. Once you get that crux, well, they're all the same race. Well, you can tie that all to like a familial background, like or an extended family, and they're from the same place, and maybe just, you know, one person in the party wants to be, oh, I don't know these guys at all. Well, he's picked up on the road, or, you know, he's visiting, or he's the last of his clan and he's trying to find a new one, you know. But having that we're all the same race, that already gives a lot of camaraderie and ties the party together that much easier.
It kind of screams we're on a quest. Like, we've been tasked with something from our homeland to do, whether you're elf, halfling, gnome, dwarf, whatever. The only one that doesn't tie instantly to is human, but or the half-breeds, but it could be just the same. So it's a great starting point going, oh, well, why would this all adventuring party consist of the same race? Oh, well, maybe, you know, where they're from, there's a problem. They've been sent out to look for the solution.
So easy. I think that one's cut and dry. But what about background? What if everybody is a insert background here?
This one's a little more tricky depending on the game you're playing. So Urchin, you're all runaways, right? You can do that. Criminal, well, it's a crime game. You know, nobles, well, there's a problem in the aristocracy that they need solved, so they're sending out all their sons and daughters to do it. Hermit's a little tougher.
Yeah, I was going to get there. You know, if you're a soldier, well, all right, you clearly are back to everyone's in the army or was, and you know, you're all army buddies. If, you know, you are Outlanders, well, this is clearly a tribal game. We're not going to get into the cities. But Hermit, that's the tricky one of, well...
I'm just envisioning the camp, right, where everyone, like, stakes out a section away from everyone else. Stay away from me! That's my log! Don't sit there.
You know, Sage, Acolyte, you clearly are part of an organization, you know, all working together.
Guild Artisan, the same thing. Guild Artisan might be a fun one to do for, like, an urban adventures, where, you know, maybe someone's trying to take over the guilds, or maybe someone's trying to get rid of the guilds. It could be very political. I mean, so can some of the other ones as well. So this really gives you a lot of leeway and a lot of room to play with. And because it's only the background the same, like, there can be a lot of diversity amongst the players as well.
That holds true with everyone's the same race. You know, the great part about this whole video topic is we have 3 pieces to this puzzle, and each one is only going to share a single piece, which gives you 66% of your mechanical character sheet. And that doesn't even include any of the role-playing that goes into any of it.
Right. So, you know, you can use the sameness to almost like find the differences and make things more interesting and make your character stand out a little bit differently than the other characters. I would be all right with playing in any of these style games. I think it would be fun. It doesn't even speak to me, oh, this couldn't even be a long campaign. It very well could be. There's a lot of room here to do some interesting and fun things in your game.
Yeah, it's given me a whole bunch of ideas of things I'd like to do, and sadly there's just never enough time.
I know. If we could only just game 24/7, 8 days a week, it'd be awesome.
So what do you guys think about this topic? Have you done this before? Would you like to do it? There's a great place to continue that conversation down in the comments below. While you're down there, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Hey, you can always tweet at Nerdarchy some of your ideas as well.
So until next time, stay nerdy.